Introducing similes, metaphors, and conceits. If you have ever called someone hot, a pig, a gun, a dog, or even a legend, then you have used a metaphor. A metaphor is not literally true, but it makes a powerful comparison that is true in a deeper sense. If, for example, you call your brother a pig, you know that he is not literally a pig, but you might be communicating something about his manners, or perhaps how much he eats. If you describe a shot on the soccer pitch as a rocket, you know it's not literally a rocket, but you are saying something about the shot's speed and power. Again, you might describe someone attractive as hot. Clearly, you are not discussing their temperature. Similes work in much the same way, but whereas a metaphor is a direct statement of equivalence, my brother is a pig, similes make clear that one thing is being compared to another. My brother is like a pig. Similes make the nature of this comparison clear, but are less direct than metaphors. In the opening speech of this play, Iago uses a rare comparison when he advises Roderigo to call aloud, as when the fire is spied in populous cities. Similes are fairly infrequent in the opening act of Othello, perhaps because of the urgency that permeates the entire act. However, in the opening scene, Iago in particular uses gross and crude metaphors to describe Othello, aiming to quote-unquote poison Brabantio's quote-unquote delight. For instance, Iago refers to Othello as a quote-unquote Barbary horse, and describes the sexual union as quote-unquote making the beast with two backs. In Act 1, Scene 2, Iago tells Cassio that Othello quote-unquote hath boarded a land carrack, or a treasure ship. Again, this is not literally true, but a metaphor. The crudeness and directness of these metaphors are appropriate to Iago's character. Black as my own face. What did Othello look like? Theatre companies generally dressed non-European characters, such as Moors, in lavish and exotic costumes that bore little relation to the dress codes of their societies. In the 16th century, black masks and wigs were used to portray such characters, but by the 17th century, more subtle black makeup was employed for these roles. There is a famous account of James I's Catholic queen, Anne of Denmark, and some of her ladies wearing black makeup to perform their own play in 1605. Could they have been inspired by a performance of Othello at the court? The great actor Richard Burbage, who was white, is believed to be the first actor to play the part of Othello, and it is assumed he wore similar makeup for his performances. In Jacobean England, the term quote-unquote Moor was used very loosely and could have meant anything from an Ethiopian to a person of Middle Eastern appearance with much lighter skin. Many historians think that the character Othello was inspired by the visit of the Moorish ambassador from the North African kingdom of Barbary, late in the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. England and Barbary were already trading partners. The ambassador was sent to England to discuss the possibility of an armed alliance against the Spanish Empire. The ambassador and his entourage were a striking spectacle around the streets of London, one that was sure to capture a playwright's attention.